There's something strange that happens with Sigma males. When women first meet them, the reaction isn't always what you'd expect. It's not love at first sight. It's not instant chemistry. In fact, a lot of the time, women don't like them at all. They think they're cold, rude, maybe even full of themselves. But then, something changes. It doesn't happen right away. Sometimes it takes days, sometimes weeks. But over time, that first impression starts to fade. And what replaces it? Curiosity, interest, attraction, respect. Women start seeing what's really underneath the surface. And that surface was never the full picture. That's what this video is all about. We're going to look at 6 things that happen when women go from hating Sigma males to something very different. These men don't try to impress. They don't follow dating rules. They don't act like everyone else. And because of that, they often rub people the wrong way at first, especially women. But here's what makes Sigma males different. They don't change who they are to be liked. They stay calm. They stay grounded. They stay focused on their own path. And without saying much, they start pulling attention in. Not because they chase anyone, but because they become unforgettable. It's not about looks. It's not about charm. It's about something deeper. The rare combination of confidence, control, and mystery. That's what flips the switch. And once it flips, it doesn't flip back. Women start to realize this man is different from anyone they've known before. And what felt cold at first starts to feel exciting. In this video, you're going to see why Sigma males trigger such strong reactions, and why those reactions often change completely over time. If you've ever felt misunderstood, if you've ever been ignored just for being different, or if you've ever noticed people circle back into your life after walking away, this will make a lot of sense. Let's dive into the real reasons why women hate Sigma males at first, but then find themselves drawn in for reasons they can't even explain. Reason number 1. They seem distant and unavailable. When a woman first meets a Sigma male, the first thing she notices is his distance. He doesn't smile much. He doesn't jump into conversation. He may not even make eye contact for long. That kind of behavior sends a clear signal. I'm not interested, or at least that's how it feels. Women are used to men who try to impress them right away. They're used to small talk, compliments, maybe even a little showing off. But Sigma males don't play that game. They stand apart. They stay in their own world. And that can come off as cold, arrogant, or just plain rude. To a woman who doesn't know what she's looking at, this behavior seems like a red flag. Why is he ignoring me? Does he think he's better than everyone? Is he even aware of what's happening around him? These are real questions that go through her mind. And in the beginning, they push her away. But here's what changes. Over time, that distance starts to feel less like rejection and more like confidence. She notices that he doesn't act that way with just her. He's the same with everyone. That's when it clicks. It's not about her. It's about him. This man isn't rude. He's just not performing. That realization is powerful. It turns confusion into curiosity. Why isn't he trying to impress me? Why is he so calm? What's going on in his head? Instead of walking away, she starts watching. She starts thinking about him when he's not around. And slowly that distant energy becomes the exact thing that draws her in. This shift doesn't happen in loud moments. It happens in silence. When a Sigma male speaks, it means something. He doesn't waste words. He doesn't talk just to be liked. And the few things he does say, they hit hard. They carry weight. That makes people, especially women, lean in. Over time, that woman who thought he was standoffish begins to admire the fact that he doesn't fake it. He's not hiding behind charm. He's not trying to be anyone else. He's just being real, even if that means being quiet. And in a world full of noise, that silence becomes magnetic. So yes, at first women might hate how distant Sigma males seem. But the more time they spend near that energy, the more they realize it's not distance, it's depth. And once they feel that depth, they stop seeing it as cold. They start seeing it as powerful. Reason number 2, they don't play the game. In today's world, There's a certain way most people play dating. There are rules. There are moves. There are games. You compliment. You flirt. You text back and forth just enough to keep someone guessing. But Sigma males want nothing to do with that. From the moment a woman meets a Sigma male, she notices something's off. He doesn't flirt the way other men do. He doesn't fake interest just to be polite. He doesn't chase. If she pulls back, he doesn't follow. If she gives attitude, he doesn't react. And at first, that drives her crazy. Women are used to being chased. That's how it normally works. If a guy likes her, he shows it. But the Sigma male doesn't operate like that. If he's interested, he might show it subtly, or he might not show it at all. And that lack of effort is confusing at first. It can feel like rejection. That's when dislike sets in. She may think he's cold, uncaring, or emotionally unavailable. But the truth is he's just not playing. He's not pretending to be interested to get a reaction. He's not following a script. And over time, that honesty starts to show. What felt like arrogance starts to feel like clarity. He says what he means. He doesn't overthink it. If he says something nice, he means it. If he doesn't say anything, it's because he doesn't feel like it. Not because he's trying to be mysterious. That kind of raw honesty stands out. Soon, the same woman who once felt offended by his lack of attention starts to appreciate it. She realizes that his focus isn't on impressing her, it's on living his life. That independence is attractive. That calm is rare. And that steady energy becomes hard to ignore. Also, because he's not playing the game, he doesn't fall into common traps. He doesn't use pickup lines. He doesn't act like someone he's not. He's not trying to win anything. He's just being himself. And even if that means fewer women like him at first, the ones who stay, they stay for the right reasons. That's when the switch happens. The woman who once thought he was boring or rude starts to realize he's just different. He's real. And in a world full of games, that kind of honesty feels like a breath of fresh air. Reason number 3. Their independence feels intimidating. When a Sigma male walks into a room, he brings something most people don't expect: complete independence. He doesn't need anyone to validate him. He's not looking to fit in. He's not trying to lead, follow, or please anyone. He's just living on his terms. And for some women, that's hard to handle. At first, this kind of man seems closed off. It's not that he's mean or cold. It's that he's not available in the way most people are. He's not trying to win attention. He doesn't ask what people think of him. He doesn't need constant conversation. That makes some women feel pushed away. Not because he's doing anything wrong, but because they're not used to someone who's so self-contained. For women who are used to men who want to connect instantly, this energy can feel like rejection. Why isn't he texting? Why doesn't he want to hang out? Is he even interested in me? These questions start running through her head. And at first it leads to frustration. But then something changes. As she sees more of how he lives, she realizes it's not personal. He's like this with everyone. He values space. He values quiet. He values doing things his own way. And instead of looking weak or selfish, that begins to look strong. His independence means he doesn't need constant emotional support. He's not clingy. He doesn't complain about being alone. In fact, he thrives in solitude. That's when it starts to flip, because what once felt like emotional distance now looks like emotional strength. He doesn't ask for much, but when he gives his time or energy, it means something. It's not automatic. It's a choice. And that's what makes it valuable. A Sigma male's attention isn't easy to get, but once you have it, it's real. Over time, this becomes very attractive. She starts to admire the fact that he doesn't fold under pressure. He's not needy. He doesn't beg for her time. He invites her into his world, but only if she's ready for it. That quiet confidence starts to stand out. And here's the other side of it. A woman knows she can't control this man. He won't chase. He won't beg. He won't change himself just to be liked. That lack of control might bother her at first, but later it turns into respect. He's not there because he needs her. He's there because he chooses to be. In the end, what began as intimidation turns into appreciation. His independence doesn't push her away. It challenges her. It makes her step up. It makes her wonder, What does he see in me? And that question alone can spark something deeper. Reason number 4, they ignore social validation. Most people want to be liked. They want attention. They want others to approve of their choices. Sigma males? Not so much. They couldn't care less what the crowd thinks. And that's one of the main reasons women struggle to understand them at first. When a Sigma male enters a room, he doesn't dress to impress. He doesn't talk to show off. He doesn't need applause or approval. That kind of confidence is rare, and it often gets misunderstood. A woman might see it as arrogance. He thinks he's better than everyone. Or maybe she sees it as insecurity. He doesn't talk much, so he must be shy. But both views are wrong. What's really going on is simple. The Sigma male is centered. He doesn't need noise. He doesn't need praise. He doesn't seek likes, laughs, or validation from others. And that throws people off. For a woman, especially one used to getting reactions from men, this lack of response can feel uncomfortable. She may dress a certain way, say something clever, or give a look, and the Sigma male doesn't even blink. He notices, but he doesn't react. He doesn't give her what she expects. And that silence can feel like rejection. But here's what happens with time. That same silence begins to look different. She starts to see that he's not ignoring her. He just doesn't play for attention. He sees through things. He doesn't fake a smile or give compliments just to score points. He only speaks when he means it. And that's when things shift. She realizes he's real, that his calm doesn't come from trying to look cool. It comes from knowing who he is. He doesn't need people to clap for him. And that makes her curious. What makes him so sure of himself? Why doesn't he care what others think? Soon, she starts seeing the difference between someone who pretends to be confident and someone who actually is. The Sigma male doesn't act. He just is. He's not performing. He's living. And over time, that quiet confidence becomes attractive. It stands out. It holds weight. While other men are busy trying to impress, the Sigma male sits back. He watches. He chooses when and how to show up. And when he does, people listen. For a woman, that becomes unforgettable. She may not have liked it at first. She may have even been annoyed. But later, she realizes it's that lack of neediness that makes him different. He's not there to please. He's there to live his truth. And once she sees that, she wants to know more. Reason number 5. They challenge norms and expectations. There's a certain pattern most women are used to. Men tend to fall into roles. Either they try too hard to impress, or they show off their strength. Some chase, some lead, some follow. But the Sigma male doesn't do any of that. He doesn't fit the normal boxes. And that alone creates confusion. When a woman first meets a Sigma male, she tries to figure him out. Is he shy? Is he arrogant? Is he uninterested? None of the usual labels work, and that's frustrating. People like things they can understand. But with a Sigma male, what you see on the surface rarely matches what's happening inside. This confusion often leads to dislike. Women want to feel like they know where they stand. They want to feel like they're in control of the interaction. But with Sigma males, there's no clear pattern. One day he's silent. The next day he says something that shows deep insight. Then he disappears again. That unpredictability can feel like a challenge. And at first, challenges are frustrating. But over time, that frustration turns into something else: curiosity. Women start to pay more attention. They want to understand what makes him tick. And here's where it gets deeper. Sigma males often live by their own code. They don't follow society's expectations. They don't care about fitting into groups or labels. And that gives them a kind of freedom most people don't have. At first, this freedom looks like rebellion. Later, it looks like leadership. When a woman sees a man who doesn't need approval, doesn't follow trends, and doesn't care what people say, that creates a spark. She may not know why, but she starts to see him as powerful. Not because he demands power, but because he doesn't chase it. This challenges her view of what a man should be. She starts to compare him to others. She realizes that most men are trying to be something. The Sigma male is just himself. That difference, that raw, grounded, authentic presence, makes her rethink what she wants. And that's the moment things shift. What started as confusion becomes interest. What started as dislike becomes attention. She watches him more closely. She starts thinking about him when he's not around. She starts wondering what his world looks like. By breaking expectations, Sigma males pull attention in without asking for it. They make people think. They stand out. And once a woman sees that difference, she doesn't forget it. Reason number 6. They reveal depth and authenticity. When women first meet a Sigma male, they often walk away thinking he's too closed off. He doesn't reveal much. He doesn't share personal stories. He doesn't talk just to fill the silence. And because of that, it's easy to assume he's boring, guarded, or maybe just not interested. This impression sticks at first. A woman might think, he's too serious, or he doesn't open up. In the early stages, that lack of emotional expression creates distance. She feels like she can't read him, like he's keeping something hidden. And in a way, he is. Sigma males don't open up for just anyone. They keep their emotions close, their thoughts private, and their stories protected. That's not about being rude. It's about being careful. They've likely been through things. They've learned not everyone deserves full access, so they hold back until trust is earned. This guarded nature can push people away. But for the few who stick around, something powerful happens. Slowly, piece by piece, the Sigma male starts to open up. Not in dramatic ways, but in moments that matter. He shares an opinion he usually keeps to himself. He tells a story from his past. He listens deeply when someone else talks. And most importantly, he stays honest. That's when women start to notice something big. Behind the quiet, behind the mystery, is a man with real depth. A man who's been watching the world for a long time, thinking about it, learning from it. And now he's letting someone in, one step at a time. And here's the key difference. When a Sigma male opens up, it's real. It's not performance. It's not done to win affection. It's not shared to be liked. It's shared because it means something. That level of truth spoken without any goal or reward in mind hits differently. It feels solid, safe, honest. The woman who once thought he had no emotion now sees he has a lot of it. He just protects it. She realizes his quiet nature wasn't emptiness. It was discipline. His calm wasn't disinterest. It was strength. And his silence wasn't cold. It was control. This kind of slow reveal is rare in today's fast world. Most people show everything too soon. Sigma males are the opposite. And because of that, when they finally open up, it matters. It creates emotional gravity. Now the same woman who once felt frustrated by his distance finds herself drawn in. She wants more. She feels connected. And she respects him not just for who he is, but for how carefully he chose to let her see it. So what really happens when women meet Sigma males? At first there's confusion, maybe even dislike. Sigma males don't act the way most people expect. They're quiet. They're private. They're independent. And because of that, they get misunderstood, especially by women who are used to certain types of attention. But then things begin to shift. That silence becomes mystery. That independence becomes strength. That honesty becomes refreshing. And over time, what once seemed distant turns into something powerful. Women don't fall for Sigma males right away. But when they do, it's deep. Because nothing about it is fake. Nothing is forced. These men don't chase approval. They just live with purpose. And that's what makes them unforgettable. So if you've ever felt rejected for being quiet, misunderstood for being private, or disliked for being different, just know you might be carrying Sigma energy. And the people who don't get it at first may be the same ones who respect it most in the end. Have you ever seen this switch happen in real life? Let us know what you've experienced, or if this sounds like someone you know.